No, it's lovely to see you here at Collectomania. You've had so many great scenes on Game of Thrones. Of course, there was that moment a few seasons back where you chopped off Jaime Lannister's hand. What was that like filming that?
That was probably my favourite scene, and it was actually the very first scene I did, and it was good in a way to start. A lot of the stuff is a lot of extras, a lot of people, so it's a bit more chaotic. But that was a good, acting scene because it was just basically the three of us, and it was with David and Dan too, so it was a nice way to, be introduced to the series.
What was it like working with Nikolaj?
Yeah, Nikolaj's great. He's, he's got a funny sense of humour, but I think that's because it's sort of Scandinavian or Nordic humour. Really doesn't translate sometimes, but me and Gwen would sort of pick on him a lot, but he's a big puppy, really. He's a sweet guy.
And then, of course, we saw you with Brienne, tossing Brienne into the bear pit as well.
Yeah, he's not a very nice guy. Like, I actually know Gwen from, outside of the show years ago, and I hadn't seen her for years, so it was actually, nice to know her, so I could get away with being a bit of a brute to her. Yeah.
Well, you both did it very well. I mean, of course, you didn't have the bear actually there, did you?
No, there was no bear at the time, but I think they used a real bear in America. Yeah.
It's all CGI trickery, isn't it? It's great though, it looked fantastic on the screen. And of course this season we've seen you get the chop, well not quite the chop, more the strangle, throttled by Hodor.
Get my neck snapped and stuff by Hodor. And again, if you're going to get killed, it's good to get killed by sort of a likeable character in a way. If a baddie sort of thing. So it's a satisfying way to end. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about behind the scenes filming that. I mean, how did they do the broken neck, and what was it like filming with Christian?
It was great. Christian's a really lovely guy, and mainly it's like spending a lot of time in prosthetics to get the sort of. You probably don't even really see it, and winching up and all that sort of stuff.
And you were fitted, weren't you, for a broken spinal column in prosthetic?
Yeah. I went before the season started. They said, we'd like you to go along to the prosthetics thing, and that's always like a dead giveaway. Something bad's going to happen to you when you have to get fitted when they want to cast your whole head or something. Something bad's going to happen to you.
Yeah, a little bit of a clue, wasn't it? Definitely.
Yeah. Unless you're going to grow another head, but I didn't think that was going to happen.
Now, the qualities that you need to survive in Game of Thrones are very particular, aren't they? I mean, if you could say, because obviously Locke didn't have them because we've now waved goodbye to him, what do you think you need to survive in Game of Thrones?
I don't know. I mean, it's really, one thing, if it's a really, really established character and they live throughout in the books, then it's quite hard to kill those characters because the fans are very, particular about deviating too much from the book. But, I don't think anyone's safe, really. I think after the first season, Sean Bean gets killed. Once you do that to sort of a main character, then it's gloves off for anyone, really, I think. And then the Red Wedding, it's like, nobody's safe, really. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe if you're I know babies get killed in it, don't they? Yeah, nobody's safe, yeah.
No one, nothing is safe, definitely. I mean, George R. R. Martin's talked about the possibility of a Game of Thrones movie, taking it on from the show. What do you think about that, and what kind of thing would you like to see on the big screen?
I don't really know. I mean, I think, personally, I think what's made a lot of the HBO series, like going right back to The Sopranos, is the serialisation and the sort of length of time it takes to tell each season allows you to develop a narrative in a way that you could never do with a film. And so I think if they did the films, it would probably have to work a little bit like the Star Wars films or something, where the films themselves are like chapters in a way. So I don't imagine you could do a lot with one film, or you'd have to be a very specific sort of little moment.